We continue now at the top of Daf Yud Beis Amud Aleph in Meseches Sotah. This is Sotah Daf 12a. The Gemara is continuing to discuss the lineage of Kalev, and the Gemara says Dekonami will bring a proof as well. Dechsiv Haknizi, because the pasuk says Haknizi Shva Mina. The Gemara says indeed this is a proof. Rashi explains Dekonami Dechsiv Kra Achrina will give you a proof because there's another pasuk Ki Mishtoi Bekalev Lo Kari Ben Kenaz. In this pasuk that we're quoting, this is a pasuk in Yoshua. It says Lekalev ben Yefuna Haknizi. It doesn't say ben Kenaz like it said in the pasuk quoted on the previous Amud Kedechsiv B'Asniel, like it says by Asniel. Ella Haknizi, rather it just says Haknizi, and that proves what we said on the previous Amud, that he wasn't, that Kalev was not the son of Kenaz, he was the stepson. He was just me'anshe beisum migidulav shel Kenaz. He was a member of the household. He was raised in that house, but he wasn't actually a son of Kenaz. And the Gemara says, indeed, we see that is the case. And we will now, for a moment, turn back to the previous Amud, because the Gemara is analyzing this pasuk in Divrei Hayomim. The full pasuk again is V'Kalev ben Chetzron holed es Azuva Isha. It says Kalev ben Chetzron gave birth to Azuva, his wife, Ve'es Urios and Urios, Ve'ela Bonah, and these are the names of her children. And the children are Yesher, V'Shova, V'Yardon, Yesher and Shova and Ardon. And the Gemara now analyzes the pasuk. And the Gemara says, Azuva, who is this Azuva? Zu Miriam. It refers to Miriam. V'loma nikra shema Azuva. And why was she called Azuva? Shakol Azvua mitchilasa. Because everybody left her from the beginning. Rashi explains, Azuva shakol Azvua shemitchila cholanisaises. We're going to see, in the beginning she was born, she was very ill. Kidekari lahacha Yurios. That's why he calls her Yurios as well. We'll see in a moment. Ulakaman kari lanami chala. And later on we'll call her chala. These are all words that indicate that she was ill. Ve'azuva sha'azvua kol bechura Yisrael milisa osa. She's called Azuva because the young men of Israel didn't want to marry her, again, because of this illness. And so that's what the Gemara says, Sha'kol Azuva mitchilasa. And the Gemara continues to analyze the pasuk. The pasuk said, hold it. It said he gave birth to Azuva. That's not true. Kalev was marrying. He was married to Miriam. Va'lu minsav havin nasavla. Wasn't he married to her? As Rashi over here says, Va'mesav nasva k'dechsiv atamas Azuva v'yikach lo alma itzahava. You see that she died and then he married. It sounds like he was married to her, not that he gave birth to her. So what does this mean? And so the Gemara says, Amar Rabbi Yochanan says, Kol hanose isha l'shem shamayim, anybody who marries a woman for the sake of heaven, ma'alol of akasav ki'ilu yolada, so the pasuk considers it as if he gave birth to her. Rashi says l'shem shamayim kagon zu. This was l'shem shamayim. Shaisachol v'nasa l'shem shamayim, meaning she was sick, but he married her for the sake of heaven. Shabadak ba'achea Aaron and Moshe, because he saw that the brothers Aaron and Moshe v'ro some tzadikim. He saw that they were tzadikim v'rov bonim domin la'acheoim, and the majority of the sons they followed the brothers of the mother, and so therefore this was considered a marriage l'shem shamayim, and therefore it's considered ki'ilu yolada, as if he gave birth to her. Yurios, and then it called her Yurios. Why is that? The reason was that her face was like Yurios, was like curtains. Rashi says Lirios, it means the face lacked the color. Because of the fact that she was ill, so she looked pale. That's why she's called Yurios. Ve'ela bonah, and then it says these are her sons. Al tikrei bonah ela bonah. Don't read it as sons. These are not the names of her children, but rather it means bonah, how she was built up. It's an indication again that Kalev helped to heal her. Rashi says bonah elu shmos bala shebona v'asa mavuna. This refers to the fact that again her husband. It's referring to her husband that he built her up. Kishar nashim, like other women, benesuin uvanim yeshar v'shova v'yardon. And the Gemara now explains the references of these names. So the Gemara says it's boneha, and what do we mean? Yesher sheyisher es atzmo. Yesher means sheyisher es atzmo. He straightened himself. Rashi says sheyasher es atzmo militos es tos hameraglim. He straightened himself out, that he didn't follow in the ways of meraglim. Again, these are references to Kalev, shovev, and what does the word shovev mean? What does that name mean? Sheshivev es yitzro. Rashi says sheshivev es atzmo me'atzason. He turned himself away. He held back from the counsel of the meraglim. And Rashi continues, what is this language of Sheshive V'loshan Habasa Shoveva? It's like it's used in the pasuk in Yirmiyahu, Habasa Shoveva, which means Yotzanos Umoredes. That's a language of rebellion. He rebelled against his Yetzer Hara. V'achanami Karli Merid B'Krachrin. So he's also called Merid in another pasuk. Al Shem Shemorad B'Atzas Meraglim, again for the same reason that he rebelled against the Atzas Meraglim. And the Gemara continues, Va'ardon, and he's referred to as Ardon, Sharodas Yitzro, that refers to the fact that he ruled over his Yetzer Hara. V'ikadam, and there are those that say that Ardon means Al Shayu Paneha Dom and Levered, it's because her face, and some change it to Pan of his face, was similar to a rose. And the Gemara continues and darshans another pasuk in Divrei Hayamim. The pasuk says, "Ula'ashchor avi Tekoa hayu shtei nashim." Ta'ashchor, the father of Tekoa, were two wives, Chela and Nara. And the Gemara darshans this pasuk. Ashchor is a Kalev. When it says Ashchor over here, it also refers to Kalev. V'lama nikra shemo Ashchor. Why was he called Ashchor? Shehushchuru panav betanios, because his face became darkened. It was black because of all the fasting that he did. He fasted also again so that he would avoid joining the Atzas Meraglim. And then it says Avi, the father, Shanasa lo ka'av. What that means is that he became to her, meaning to Miriam, like a father. And Tekoa, what does Tekoa refer to? Shatokas libo lo'aviv sheba shemayim. It means he attached himself to his father in heaven. And then the pasuk says Hayu shtei nashim. He had two wives. Nasim Miriam kashtei nashim. What it means is that Miriam, that's the one wife, she was like two wives. And the Gemara elaborates when it says Chela v'nara lo Chela v'nara havo. It says Chela and Nara wasn't two people, Chela and Nara. Ela b'tchila chalo levasof Nara. It refers to the fact that originally in the beginning Miriam was sick, and then she became like a Nara. She became like a young girl. She was healthy. And the Gemara continues. The pasuk in Divrei Hayamim follows and says Uvenei Chela tzeres v'tzoar ve'esnon. It says the children of Chela were Tzeres and Tzoar and Esnon. And again, these are references to Miriam. Tzeres shenasis tzor lechavroseh. Tzeres means that she became like a rival to the other wives because of her beauty. And Tzoar, why is she called Tzoar? Shoyu pana domen katzarayim, that her face was like the noon, meaning to say that it shined brightly. And Esnon, why is she referred to as Esnon? Shekolo roa saw molech Esnon leishto, that anyone who saw her, he would bring an Esnon, a gift, to his wife in order to entice his wife. And this also was because of the beauty of Miriam. And the Gemara continues. The pasuk by Paro says, "Vayitzav Paro lecholamo," that Paro commanded for all of his nation. Amar Rabbi Yossi Rabbi Chanina darshans af al amo gazer, that this gezer was not only on the Jewish people, it was on the Mitzrayim, it was on the Egyptians as well. Rashi explains af al amo gazer darash Rabbi Tanchuma. There's a medrash Rabbi Tanchuma Yom Shanolad Moshe, that on the day that Moshe was born, Amru Itztagninov. So the astrologers of Paro said to him, Hayom Nolad Moshe and Shal Yisrael. The savior of Klal Yisrael was born today. Ve'enanu Yodim in Mitzri or Yehudi. We don't know if he's Egyptian or if he's Yehudi, if he's a Jew. V'yomad v'kibetz kol amo. So he went and he gathered all of his nation. Uvikesh ve'enlita en lo hanoladim bo bayom v'gazer af al amo. He said everybody that was born today has to be killed, and it applied not only to the Jewish people, but it applied to the Mitzrayim, to the Egyptians as well. That's what it means. L'chol amo af al amo gazer. V'yamar Rabbi Yossi Rabbi Chanina, and Rabbi Yossi Rabbi Chanina says shalosh gezeros gazer. There were actually three stages to the gezerah. B'tchila, in the beginning, the gezerah was in ben hu v'amiteno, so that if he is if the child is a son, if it's a boy, so kill him. Ulevasof, and then at the end it was kol haben hayilod hayaora tashlechu. The next stage was any son who's born has to be thrown into the river. Ulevasof, and then the last stage was afal amo gazer. The gezerah was even on his own nation. Rashi says betchila v'amiteno so lohoshev shomrim alosamach alamiyaldos. The idea over here is that originally there weren't officers making sure it happened. He just relied on the midwives. Then it was tashlichu. Then he said throw in the river shoshev shomer. There were actually people watching because there were people watching to make sure that the children were killed. Ulevasof al amo kedefarishas, and then the gezerah was even on his own nation. V'kevan shavar hayom v'adayin roin stagninov shelo lok. And now the point is, once that day passed, and still as astrologers saw Shalolok, still they saw that there was a savior. Hamid HaGezerah ad Yom Shehushlech LaYor. So then that Gezerah stayed until the day that Moshe was actually put into the river. And the Gemara continues again, another pasuk from Sefer Shemos, Vayelech Ishmi Beis Levi. It says that there was a man from the house of Levi and he went. And so the Gemara asks, Lahech and Halach, where did he go? This is talking about Amram, where was he going to? Amar Rav Yehuda Bar Zvina. Rav Yehuda Bar Zvina says, Sheholach ba'atzas bito. What really happened over here, Vayelech, means he followed the advice of his daughter. And the Gemara now elaborates. Tana was taught, Amram Gadol Hador Haya. Amram was the Gadol Hador. Rashi says, Gadol Hador Haya v'Haya Akol Nishma in the Dvar. The point over here in the Gemara is that everybody listened to what he said. And Kevon, and the Mesaras Hashas changes this to Shegazar. So Kevon Shegazar Paro Harasha Kal Haben Hayilot Hayaorat Hashlechu. Once Paro made a gezerah that all the sons that are born are thrown into the river. Amar, so he said, Lashavanu Amelin. So what we're doing is for nothing, because we're going to have children, they'll be thrown in the river. So Amar Vigirish Ishto. So he got up and he divorced his wife. And Amdu Kulan Vigirish Wes Nashosain. And that's what everybody did. Everyone followed, and they divorced their wives. Amar Lo Bito, so his daughter said to him, Abba, father, Kasha Gezerascha Yosem Mishal Paro, your decree is even more difficult than Paro's. Shaparo Lo Gazer El Ala Zacharim, because Paro's Gezer is only on the males. V'ato Gazart Ala Zachar Vel Nekevas, and your Gezer is on the males and the females. Paro Lo Gazer El Bolam Hazeh, Paro's Gezer is only in this world. And your gezer is in this world and the next world. Paro harasha, the wicked Paro, safek miskayemis, gezeraso safek eina miskayemis. There's a doubt whether his gezer will be fulfilled or whether it will not be fulfilled. Atat tzaddik, but you who are righteous, bevadai shegzerascha miskayemis. Certainly, your gezer will be filled. And this we understand from a pasuk, shenemar, like the pasuk says, vatigzer omer vayakam lach. So it says again that the pronouncement is made, and it's going to be fulfilled for you. So Amad v'hechzer es ishto, so he got up and he remarried his wife. Amdu kulan v'hechzer es neshosei, and the same thing happened with the other husbands. They all remarried their wives. And so the Gemara asks, according to this, Vayikach, why does the pasuk say Vayikach vayachzor mibayla? It should have said that he remarried her. And so the Gemara answers, Amar Rabbi Yehuda bar Zavina. Rabbi Yehuda bar Zavina says, She'asa lo ma'isa lekuchen, that he treated it as if it was her first wedding. Hoshiva ba'apiryon, he had her sit in the chair of the kala. V'Aaron and Miriam meraktin lefana, and Aaron and Miriam, they were dancing in front of her. U'malachei hashari samar, the malachei hasharis were saying, Eim habonim semecha, the mother of the children is happy. And the Gemara continues, as Bas Levi, the pasuk then goes on to say, a daughter of Levi. After Bas Meu Shloshim Shana Hav, is it possible she was, at this point in time, she was 130 years old. Bekari Labas, and she's being referred to as a daughter. The Amr Reb Chama bar Rabbi Chanina, because Reb Chama bar Rabbi Chanina said, Zu Yocheved, that we're talking about Yocheved over here, Shehu Rasa Baderech, V'lei Dasa Ben Achomos, she was the pregnancy by Yocheved, that was while they were on the road to Mitzrayim, and she was actually born when they first entered Mitzrayim. And the point over here is, we know they were in Mitzrayim for 210 years, and if Moshe Rabbeinu was born now and he was 80 years when they left, so if it's 210 minus 80 years, so that's 130 years, so we know she was 130 years. Shenemar, like the pasuk says, Asher Yolda Osa LeLevi b'Mitzrayim, it says she was born to Levi in Mitzrayim, talking about Yocheved, Leidasa b'Mitzrayim, Vein Horasa b'Mitzrayim. The point is, she was born in Mitzrayim, but the pregnancy began, she was conceived before they got to Mitzrayim, and so again, the point is, right when they came down to Mitzrayim, that's when she was born, and now it's going to be 80 years from when they leave Mitzrayim right now, so that's 130 years old, so why is she referred to as Bas Levi? And the Gemara answers, Amar Rav Yehuda says, Shenoldu Bas Imani Naris. The reason why she's referred to as Bas Levi is because now she looked youthful. At this point in time, once again, she returned to the state she was when she was in her youth. And the Gemara says, Vatar ha'isha v'ateled bein. It says that the woman became pregnant and she gave birth to a son. And the Gemara says, and we're going to mention later on also, V'hahavas ma'abra bei tlasa yarchi meikar, but she was already pregnant at this point in time. She was already pregnant for 3 months. So it's not that she became pregnant now, right at this moment. And the Gemara says, Amar Rabbi Yehuda bar Zvina says, Makish leidasa lahorasa. What's happening over here is, even though she really was already pregnant, but the pasuk is coming to compare her giving birth to her pregnancy. Mahorasa shelo b'tzar, just like a pregnancy happens without any pain. Af leidasa shelo b'tzar, so too at the time that Moshe was born, there was no pain. And Mikan, from here we learn l'nashim tzidkanios, when it comes to righteous women, shelo hayu bepiska shel Chava, they are not part of the decree against Chava that they don't give birth. When they're righteous women, they don't give birth in pain. Rashi says first, Zu Yocheved, this is Yocheved bepratan shel Yordei Mitzrayim. The point of the drasha is that when they specify the numbers of people that went down to Mitzrayim in the first place, Atamotzi Shivim Mechaser Achas, you actually have only 69. But the pasuk says there were 70. And so the answer to that question, that's why it says Zu Yocheved Sheishlima Minyanan B'chnisasan Liyur. The answer to the question is that Yocheved, she completed it to 70 as they were entering the city. In other words, at the time they entered Mitzrayim, Yocheved was already conceived at that point in time, but she wasn't born until after they entered Mitzrayim. And the Gemara said further, Makish Leidasa, there's a comparison between her Leidasa, between when she was born, when she gave birth and when she conceived. Lo nichtav heirayon ze'el lidrosh kach. The whole reason this is written is in order to darshan as follows, that she's not included bepiska shel Chava b'gzar din shelo. That means she's not included in the decree by Chava. Ushtar gezeros kolasa ditzavan v'heirayon. Again, that was the gezerah that was made about the pain of giving birth, did not apply to the tzidkanios, it did not apply to Yocheved. And the Gemara continues, the pasuk says, in referring to Moshe Rabbeinu, Vatero so kitov, who she saw that he was good. Tanya, we learned in a brayser, Rabbi Meir says Tov Shemo. What it really means is that his name actually was Tov. Rabbi Yehuda Omer Tovia Shemo. Rabbi Yehuda said his name was Tovia. Rabbi Nechemia Omer Hagun Lenevios. Rabbi Nechemia says that when it says Tov, it means to say that he was fit for prophecy. Acherim Omer, others say Noler Keshumal. When it says Tov, it means that he was born, he already had a bris milah. The Chachamim say, B'shashan oled Moshe, the time that Moshe was born, Ismale habayis kulo, or the house filled entirely with light. Ksiv hacha v'atera oso ki tovu. It says over here that she saw he was tov, he was good, ksiv hasam, and it says by the light, it says over there, vayar lokim asor ki tov, that God saw that the light was good. And the Gemara says that the pasuk says vatitzbeneu shlosha yerachim. It says she hid him for 3 months. And the Gemara explains, the reason is because the Egyptians, they only counted from the time he returned her as a wife. And as we said before, this is what we were saying before, she was actually pregnant already for 3 months before that point in time. So they were counting the pregnancy from the time that they remarried one another. And so they didn't start counting. So if you don't start counting from that point in time, so she's able to hide him for those 3 months. Then it says she was no longer able to hide him. And the Gemara says, Amai, so why is it not possible to hide him any longer? Titzbene v'tezel, so then you should continue to hide him. In other words, the point is that at the point in time that he was born, so for 3 months they were able to hide him because the Egyptians were counting on 9 full months. When the 3 months were finished, why did they continue to hide him? And the Gemara says the reason they couldn't hide him anymore at that point, the reason was any situation where the Egyptians heard that a child was born, they would bring another child over there. That way one child would hear the other, and then they would cry, they would make sounds, and that was the way that they were able to discover these children. And that's a reference in the pasuk. The pasuk says, it talks about the young foxes, and what that means is that the children were used in order to discover other children. And the Gemara continues, the pasuk says, by Moshe vatikach lo tevas goma, she took from a teva made out of bulrushes or reeds. Maishna goma, what's the difference that they use these reeds? Amar Belazar says, Mikan letzadikim, from here we learn that by tzadikim shemimonam chavev alei and yoser migufan, that their money, it's more precious to them than their body. That's why she didn't want to use something that was costly. B'chol kach laman, why is that the case? Lefi she'ein poshen yedei begezel, because they don't steal anything, and therefore everything that they have, they've worked for, and that's why their money is chavev lahen, is chavev alei, and is beloved to them. And the Gemara continues, Rabbi Shmuel bar Nachmani, Rabbi Shmuel bar Nachmani says, Davar rach, the reason why they took gom is because it's a soft material, soft item, Sheyachol lamud b'fnei davar rach, u b'fnei davar kashan, it's able to withstand something soft, and it's able to withstand something that is hard. The pasuk says that she coated the teva with mortar and with pitch, and the Gemara says, Tana was taught, chemor mi b'fnim v'zefes mi b'chutz. The chemer, the mortar, that was used on the inside, and the pitch was used on the outside. Kedei shelo yariach oso tzadik reach ra. That way, this tzadik Moshe Rabbeinu, he shouldn't smell a bad smell. And the pasuk says, "Vatasam boas hayeled vatasam basuf." It says that she took the yeled and she put him in the suf. What is that referring to? Rabbi Lazar Omer Yamsuf. Rabbi Lazar says it refers to the Yamsuf. Rabbi Shmuel bar Nachmani Omer. Rabbi Shmuel bar Nachmani says, and we will continue with this discussion in the next video on Daf Yud Beis Amud Beis.